CLIMACT Prio tool is a climate actions prioritization tool for decision support and capacity building, which aims really to support policymakers and local stakeholders to make decisions with regard to climate change actions.
The CLIMACT Prio tool enables prioritization of actions, integrates multiple objectives. It also provides decision support, enhances stakeholders' engagement, facilitates learning, and stimulates knowledge generation.
I would like to emphasize here the part of the process support that this tool provides to decision making, where students that will be involved and trained with that will get insights on real decision-making cases, planning for climate change, and how to prioritize between different climate change actions for mitigation and adaptation.
Where has CLIMACT Prio been used? In higher education, in group workshops and studios, short postgraduate courses, professional trainings of urban specialists and local governments, tailor-made training courses of officials, and e-learning courses.
By using CLIMACT Prio, students understand what are the most important steps in decision-making for climate change adaptation planning. Most of these steps are identifying options, assessing the feasibility of these options, identifying criteria, and then scoring the options against the criteria, and weighing these criteria and arriving at a final prioritization of actions. Because students do a thorough analysis of city case studies, vulnerability assessments, they also understand that the options that they come up with should be connected to city vulnerability and hazard profile. They also study thoroughly city development priorities to understand what type of development goals cities are trying to achieve, and to go beyond simply risk or vulnerability reduction objectives. CLIMACT Prio guides the students through a qualitative assessment of the options that they choose. And this is important because they understand what type of feasibility criteria may be used in climate change decision making. So these criteria may be technical capacity, financial capacity, stakeholder acceptability, and they enter into a discussion on the feasibility of the different options. So students enter into a discussion to decide what are the most feasible options, and they screen out those that are not, and they carry on the assessment from there. The tool also illustrates the possible challenges and trade-offs in the decision-making process. So when students identify criteria that are important for city governments, they also have to weigh these criteria in different ways, because of course different cities will have different development priorities, and different stakeholders will have different agendas. Therefore, by assigning different weights to these criteria, the students understand how different prioritization of actions come into place. At the end of the prioritization process, CLIMACT Prio produces graphs which are used by students and interpreted by students to understand what are the underlying assumptions that led to a certain prioritization of actions. This is important because by this, students practice communication and transparency. In real-life situations, a certain prioritization of actions may actually be contradicting to national policy documents, and therefore they should be able to explain critically why a certain prioritization of action has happened. The CLIMACT Prio tool also exposes some of the challenges and trade-offs that may occur in real-life decision-making situations. So when students assign different criteria, different weights to different criteria, this leads to a different prioritization of actions. And it's important that they understand how this process happens, because in real life situations, we want to avoid manipulation from stakeholders that have more power in the decision-making process.
Well, the CLIMACT Prio tool showed us how cities can allocate limited resources into effective climate change action. I think understanding more about multi-criteria analysis can help any city government with its decision-making process. The CLIMACT Prio tool can be applied in a lot of settings. There's still a lot of cities that are looking at ways of improving their climate action response, and I think this is a very effective tool to be able to do that.